Now we'll compare these views. So if we do this and we look at them on each of these major factors, like who is the major actor? According to the liberals, right? The major actors are individuals, individual corporations, not governments, not classes. And so the economic nationalists, in contrast, would say, no, it's states or governments, right? Structuralists would say it's classes that are the main drivers, the main actors in the global economy. What motivates governments? Why do governments take certain actions that they do? Well, the liberals would say they're not motivated, they're not, at the behest of any particular group or class or anything like that. They're not even seeking the national interest. They're just saying, let's establish certain global basic rules about free trade, for example, under which every nation can prosper and benefit. So that would be the liberals, right? Or in a capitalist economy, the liberals might say, well, let's have certain rules, that you can't have a monopoly, and maybe the government will intervene on a short-term basis to break up a monopoly. We'll have certain laws about anti-monopoly laws, but that's it. Other than that, we're not really going to interfere. We're just going to have these basic rules, and then every individual corporation or individual entrepreneur can succeed or fail based on his or her own merits. The economic nationalist view, on the other hand, the goal of governments is to promote the national interest. And so any government action is seen as, the government is taking these action to promote its interest, even if that could be detrimental to the interests of other countries. And so that's very much opposed to the approach of the liberals, who say that there could be a win-win. All countries could prosper and benefit, right? The economic nationalists say, no, there's always winners and losers. It's a zero-sum game. Our government has to take action to promote our national interests. That is the paramount idea. So that is a very different approach. And if you look at the structuralists, of course, what motivates governments, or why do governments take the action that they do, is because they are completely controlled by the bourgeoisie or the dominant economic class, those who own capital. Governments are just responsive to those upper, class or corporate interests. The governments are just the executive committee of the bourgeoisie that is carry out the orders of the dominant capitalist class. And then if you look at government-business relations, it's only in the liberal view where the government, you see it's very separate. The government says is only there, intervenes on a short-term limited basis, only temporarily, to make sure the market economy is functioning well. So there's a very limited role for the government. In the case of economic nationalism, the government, even within a capitalist context, and the economic nationalists, again, have no problem with capitalism, but in this view, the economic nationalists say the government, guides the economy. The government is kind of the leading actor that is determining, okay, we should impose tariffs, or we should impose new requirements and new regulations. They don't just let free market forces determine what happens. The structuralists, of course, say that in a capitalist context, and again, remember, structuralists are trying to explain how capitalism works. So they would say that in a capitalist economy, the government is just completely controlled by corporate interests and does whatever they want. And again, I know I'm giving a slightly oversimplified view of the Marxist perspective, but that is the perspective of Karl Marx, the original view. The state is the executive committee of the bourgeoisie, carrying out the orders of the big corporations. And so they can explain everything from that. Why did the U.S. go to war in Iraq? Oh, big oil companies wanted them to, right? So that would be the structuralist explanation for why governments do anything. And then, again, when we come to this international conflict and cooperation, clearly, the economic nationalist view and the structuralist view see conflict and, tensions between countries, but the liberals potentially see the potential for harmony because they see potentially free trade and working together in a globalized, interconnected global economy would be the benefit of everybody, and that would create a more prosperous economy for everyone. So there you have it. Those are the comparisons of these three major worldviews. And that brings us to the conclusion of this module.